Hello everybody, welcome to my Hair Slayer. This is Neil Malik and I'm with the Pravana Collective, and today I'm going to come and show you guys how to do some fun stuff with the new trendy colors with rainbow panels and some new trends and some wig coloring. I apologize for the delay. We had some technical difficulties, but I thank you all for coming, and we're going to just wait a couple minutes for everybody to get on and we'll get started. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and let's get to it. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is our wigs. So we have wigs here, and these are going to be a little bit different than your clients. So if you guys wanted to color a wig, there are some things that you might want to know. The first thing, and the most important thing when coloring a wig, is you want to make sure that it has all of its pins equally distributed and very symmetrical. Because the reason you want that is because you want them to be symmetrical whenever you're, say, parting the hair, when you're coloring different sections. You want that to be taut and you want it to be tight. So you don't want that to be bunching up. Otherwise, you're going to get different kinds of results for your colors. So what I have here is I'm going to show you guys how I pin. Do you mind grabbing a phone and seeing so we can see their questions?
Yeah, I'll set it up on my iPad.
Thank you, love. So again, I'm sorry for the delay, guys, and we have some technical difficulties, but we're here now and we are going to have a great time, and we're going to learn. We're going to teach you guys how to do some rainbow panels. Yes. Does anybody have any? If you guys have any questions, I'm going to have my assistant read them for me, and then I will answer them for you guys. What I want from you guys today is to be very interactive, and I want you guys to have fun and just ask me any questions you want to know. All right. So let's go ahead and set the first thing that we want to do is we want to line up the center in between the eyes and the forehead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this wig here. Now, depending on what kind of wig you have lace wigs, you have full lace wigs, you have lace frontal wigs, which is what I have here, and you have closure wigs, which are smaller, meaning the lace is smaller. So for the lace frontal, what you want to do is you want to look and find the lace and find the center of that lace, and you'll notice here that in the back there's always going to be a clip and a strap, a band. So that's going to be your back, and this is going to be your front where the lace is. So you're going to just take it to the back of the head, like so, and you're going to line that up, and then make sure you just pull it down as tight as you can. And you don't want the edge of the lace to be at the hairline. What you want is where the hair starts from the wig, that's where you want to line up that hairline. So we have it right here, and you don't want to see any of the clients or the models or the mannequin's hairline. So that's where you're going to place your first pin. So we're going to hold the lace taut, and you always want to make sure that you pin the outside layer of the lace, because if you pin the inside layer and you get it too close to the scalp, when the client goes to cut that, there could be holes in there, and that could cause damage to the wig, and it makes for an uneven hairline. So I'm just going to place it in there. I'm going to use leverage, and I'm going to pull it taut, and I'm just going to place it on in. So now we have our centerpiece and our first pin. So that's going to be lined up right there. Now the second one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a ping pong method. A ping pong method. I'm going to go back and forth from each side. So the next side I'm going to take, and I'm going to pull it taut with the hairline again, right around the temple, or right where the parietal ridge starts, and I'm going to do the same thing. The next one I'm going to do is going to be right on the other side. Right here, I'm pulling it taut, going on the outside edge, and I've got my first 3 pins. That's going to create symmetry, because what you don't want is a wig that's off center, and then you end up doing a face frame highlight, or money piece as people like to call it, and it be over here. So when your client puts the wig on, she has an ear highlight. You don't want that. So let's go ahead and get the next pins in. The next pin I'm going to do is going to be right behind the ear, So I want to make sure that this is just following the hairline basically. And like I said, if you have any questions, guys, I want you to be very interactive. I want you to feel free to ask me any questions as we go along. So again, doing the ping pong method, I'm going to go back on the other side and go right behind the ear. As you can see, I'm pulling this right by the sideburn. So I'm going to take the outside edge and I just use leverage, pull as tight as I can, and then pin it. And for those of you that are just joining, again, the reason I'm doing that is because this is a very important part of the process, because you don't want your color to be uneven, you don't want it to be asymmetrical, and you want to make sure that when you're pulling these sections and over directing sections, which we're going to be doing today, that your section is nice and taut and it's evenly distributed.
So somebody has a question.
All right.
They said, but on a real head you can't put pins in, so what do you use?
On a real head?
Yeah, if you were coloring somebody's actual hair.
So if you're coloring someone's actual hair, or if you're coloring a wig on someone's hair?
If she can clarify that, that would be great. The question's just, but on a real head you can't put pins in, so what do you use?
So on a real head, you omit that entire part of the process. So you're not going to put any pins in any of your clients. You are going to start right with this process. So the first thing you're going to do is we are going to section out our mannequin or our model. May I see the head sheet, please?
Yeah.
So I created a head sheet for you guys that can show you what I'm going to be doing, and that way you guys can get a visual, because I know as hairstylists we're all very visual learners. And
that one?
Yep, thank you. We're all very visual learners. And so I created this for you guys to see what we're doing today. So it's pretty simple. What we have here is we have a 4 sections. So we have center part and then an ear to ear. And that's just going to create 4 sections. And I'll show you guys more of this as we go on. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my center part, because what she has is she actually has a bang in here, a front bang. So it's going to create that really cool symmetrical line down the center. So we're going to take that and we are going to divide that from the center all the way to the nape. And now with wigs, whenever you're sectioning them, a lot of the times you have tracks. So whenever you're sectioning, you have to be a little bit lighter on your comb or whatever tool you're using. So instead of like digging straight down with the edge, I like to just kind of float it on the top and then let it guide it. That way I don't get snagged, even though I still get snagged sometimes. So you guys can see there. Now you guys might be wondering why I have these panels of blonde and then this beige color or pearly color. Well, that's going to lend to what I'm going to be showing you today. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going now with our radial parting, which is an ear to ear. And then we're just going to have one on the other side as well. So I'm just going to isolate these. And now, the blonde parts are going to be my rainbow pieces. And the pearly beige parts are going to be my nice blonde overlays. So I think that's going to be really cute and really pretty. And it's a very, very big trend right now you guys are seeing with all those panels in the front. So like you'll see like a quarter panel just in the front, or you'll see like the face frame with the color and then the rest is all one color. So this is a play on that. It's basically the quarter panel, but I'm doing a quarter panel in the front with a rainbow, and then I'm also going to do a quarter panel in the back with a rainbow, but I'm going to be doing 2 different rainbow placements to show you guys the difference between vertical placement for rainbow and horizontal placement for rainbow. So I hope you guys are excited.
So somebody's asking the formula on your hair.
The formula on my hair. Oh, right. That's because I did it yesterday and I told you guys to come and check me out and I will tell you the formula. So the formula is neon magenta, neon pink, magenta, and then it was a little bit too bright for me, so I put a little bit of clear and wild orchid on top of it after I rinsed out the neon pink and the magenta. And then, of course, I don't know if you guys can see, but my fabulous assistant did this beautiful little heart rainbow because I heart rainbows. I hope you guys like it. So I have my bowls here that are pre-filled with clear. So this is Pravana Vivid's clear, which is going to be my diluter. So it's going to pastelize my colors. I have 2 bowls that have quite a bit of clear in it, and then the rest have just a little bit. The reason being is because I'm going to be using Pravana Vivid's Violet, which is the first color I'm doing. So that's a very pigmented color, and if you look on each Pravana's box, you can see that there is a number that's circled on each box. So I'll show you the violet here. So we have the violet is circled with a 7, whereas the yellow is circled with a 9. Do you guys know why that is? I'll wait for you guys to answer. Who knows?
There's about a 30-second delay.
So we're asking, why is there a number that's circled on each Pravana box with Pravana Vivids? What does that number represent? Anybody?
People are getting it.
Oh, they are? Well, you gotta tell me, girl.
If there's about a 30-second delay from what you're saying to the video.
So when it comes up, just let me know.
We're good.
We're good. What did they say?
Hair levels.
Okay, perfect. There you go, guys. Thank you.
And then somebody also asked, what if the client had darker hair prior? What would be the best suggestion to lift the color out?
Okay, so to lift the color out?
Yeah, like their pre-existing color.
Okay, so to diminish vivids, I always use Pravana Pure Light Power Lightener and Zero Lift Cream Developer. I use that because it's the easiest thing to get it out. It's nice and smooth. It doesn't put too much damage to the hair because the Zero Lift is very gentle, and it's the best way to diminish vivids. Of course, you're going to have your stubborn ones, but you work with those, and then you either work with that palette or you go to a new one and you try to tone it out. So I'm going to pour these colors that I'm using in here, and I'll show you guys how I'm going to mix them so you can see them all together. Now, if you had a client with dark hair and you wanted to start this fresh with dark hair, then what you would do is, it would be pretty cool. It would also be really awesome if you just left these 2 panels dark that I did blonde, that I did the pearly color, and then did these 2 panels with the rainbow. So that's a really cool option for you guys.
So some of the other guesses were the pre-lightened levels that are required to put the color on.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the correct answer. So, you guys, I'm really excited too because this really beautiful pearly color, or like this pearly beige, almost like, it's almost like a, what would you call this color? It's really pretty.
It's almost like a slight lavendery tone to
Yes.
silver. It's kind of like a pearly silver color.
It's so pretty. So this is a new product that Pravana is coming out with in January, you guys. So it's a new color, and I'm so freaking excited to show you guys what this is. But I can't tell you today, and I'm so sorry. But you guys are going to love this. I've been playing around with it, and I've been doing so many cool formulas. I've gotten a white formula down. I've gotten a lot of fun things that have resulted from this color. So be on the lookout for January. Pravana is coming out with a bang. So I need one more bowl, my dear.
Yeah.
Pretty please. All right. Thank you so much.
Yep. And then the brushes are right there to your left.
All right. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to put a little bit more of this.
Ooh, people are excited for the pearls.
Are you guys excited? Well, I didn't say it was pearl, but it is going to create this nice beigey pearly color that's going to be an iridescent color. But this is what I used on these 2/4 panels, which whenever I style it, you'll see how it looks on styled hair. This hair is freshly just blow dried, rough dried. So it doesn't look the best right now, but once we get finished, we're going to be showing out because it's going to look amazing. Alright, so I finished with my mixing. Now I'm going to mix them up, actually going to mix them up in the bowl. So I'll show you guys what each one looks like. So we have, girl, don't be coming for me. Somebody threw that at me. It was. So, alright, let's go through this. Can they see?
Just tilt them up a little more. There you go.
So we have aquamarine from Vivids and clear. So look at that. This aquamarine is such a beautiful color. I love it. I just really wanted to show you guys my mixing ratios as they were in the bowl and how they're going to come out. So that's really pretty. I love the way that looks. You can always add more or, but what I recommend to do is always have your clear in the bowl first and then add your color, because you can always add more color, but you can't sometimes take away from it or you waste a lot of product trying to do so. So this is clear and violet. So the violet is a very pigmented color, like I said. So you can see that it's still going to be a very vibrant violet, even though I only put a little bit in there. Woohoo! That's a pretty color. I love that color.
I love that.
Yes. So now we have Pravana Vivids Clear, Pravana Vivids Yellow, and Pravana Vivids Aquamarine. So we're going to mix that one together and create a cool green. Yes. See, if you don't have green, you just improvise. You make your own. And I don't know about you guys, but that's a pretty dope green. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Does everybody like that green? I'm obsessed with it right now, and I didn't even know it was going to look like that. I'm just kidding, I did. Alright, so now we have clear, sunstone, and neon orange. So this should be fun.
Tilt it a little more. There you go.
So we got a great color there. Nice, beautiful orange. Now we have Pravana Vivids pink and magenta and clear. Magenta is one of my favorite colors. It's such a vibrant pink. Like I said, I used magenta and neon pink on my hair. And then it was a little bit too vibrant for me. I was a little scared. And I went in with clear and wild orchid at the end. So this is my palette here. So I'm going with it. Let's get it. So the only thing I will say I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 drop of regular blue into my blue formula. Because that was clear with aquamarine, and now I want it to be a little bit deeper, and our Pravana Vivids blue is super, super pigmented. So I'll show you what it does to it here. So you can see how it'll take it to that really, really nice rich blue. That's going to cover that hair really, 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 really well. Pravana Vivids always recommends to use any of our blues on a level 10. And does anybody know why? Why do we recommend to use Pravana Vivids on level 10 hair? Anybody?
We're catching up still.
Okay.
So there's a delay.
Definitely love how I just got a little piece of purple on my hair. On my panel.
You need some towels?
No, it's not going to come up. It's on there, girl. But that's okay, because this is going to be our fun panel anyways.
So first guess, so you can get the true color.
So you can get the true color, exactly. And then what else? What other reason would it be? I mean, that's definitely the right answer.
So,
but there's also a little bit more to it.
All right, we got some with it. The underlying yellow will make it green, because yellow and blue make green.
Bam! You got it, girl. Or boy.
Two of them.
Perfect. So the underlying pigments in the hair, which could be yellow, would contribute to the outcome of the color, which would contribute to it being green. So if you have a blue color that you put on yellow hair, you are definitely going to want that to be a level 10, because so you don't get the green. So now, like I said, the first section I'm going to be doing vertical panels of rainbow colors. So I'm going to be doing about 3/4 of an inch to an inch panels. And I'm going to be doing the color all the way directly from root to tip. So I'm starting here at the root, And when you're painting wigs, you want to be careful of certain things like where are the tracks, where's the lace, and different things like that. So what I'm looking for right now, this is the very top of the wig. So I want to make sure I pay attention closely to this because this is going to be the focal point and where people mostly are going to see. So would you do me a favor and grab me a Pravana mesh out of there, please?
Of course.
So I like to use Pravana mesh, guys. How many of you guys use Pravana mesh strips? If you're not, you are missing out. Because they are the best $30 you will ever spend. Literally, they're reusable. You can just set them there for me now that they're open, please, babe.
Yeah, you can move to the back.
Thank you, love.
Of course.
So these are great because they're reusable, and I like them because you can use them on a larger section of hair. So whereas a foil would be really difficult to use for this method, this is awesome because it's a big section of hair and I can color the whole thing all at one time. And it isolates it for me. Another reason I like using them is because they really do conduct heat well whenever you're doing a balayage. I get just as good as lift as I would with a foil. And it's easier to apply and it's much easier to take out. So I'm going to talk to you guys also about another thing called the Pravana's 3-inch rule. Does anybody know what Pravana's 3-inch rule is? I recently posted a video about it, and if you guys saw that video, you will know the answer to this question. Anybody know? You guys will get a prize if you answer this question correctly. The first person. Who's going to get the prize? It could be my favorite Pravana product I will send to you. What's the 3-inch rule for Pravana? Anybody? If nobody answers in 5 seconds, no more prize. You can't answer. Nope. Okay.
We're still catching up to that.
The Pravana, yeah. The Pravana 3-inch rule is you're supposed to apply Pravana Vivids every 3 inches down the hair shaft because why?
First guess is even blending.
Even blending, that's a good one. Why would you get even blending? I'm just trying to challenge you guys and have you guys learn a little bit extra today. So the reason you're going to get even blending whenever you apply Pravana Vivids every 3 inches is because you are going to get even saturation.
A couple people are just popped in with that.
Okay, so the saturation part?
Yes.
What'd they say?
Somebody said saturation, then even saturation, it won't bleed, product is thin, ensures full and even color saturation with no hollow spots.
Yes, I like these answers, people.
Proper saturation, hair processes differently.
So, yes, and then basically
Saturation.
the way that we explain it is the dye molecules will separate from the conditioners and that are in the product as you work your way down the hair shaft. So say you applied all of the product right here and then you just continue to use that same product all the way down to the ends. See how it gets diluted at the ends? And then if I tried to work that in there, I would just be continuing to separate that dye molecule. So what we recommend is applying it every 3 inches down, and then you will have the best perfect saturation of product. And you'll have a nice, even, nice palette, nice color. So make sure you guys are aware of that whenever you're doing it, because have you guys ever seen hollow spots in your Vivids or somebody else's Vivids? And you can kind of tell, and it looks, it looks great, but it just looks like it's a little bit unrefined. That's a great way for you guys to amp your color game up by applying every 3 inches and making sure that your saturation is on point. Because I think that saturation is one of the most important things when coloring hair.
Alright, we got another wig question. Somebody goes, I'm a wig maker. Do you use anything to pre-treat the lace before coloring the wig?
It depends on what color that I'm doing. So if I'm doing a dark blue or like a very pigmented color like a vibrant violet or a red, I would definitely do that. But when I'm doing vivids that are lighter like and brighter like this, I don't, because I'm very careful when I move around the lace, and I find that they don't stain it completely and permanently. So as you guys can see, I'm still going with my vertical panels. So I've done the violet, I'm doing the blue. I'm going to do the blue all the way down and the vertical panel. So I've got my mesh strip that I'm going to use to isolate this hair. And I just applied a little bit to the base, and now I'm coming back and I'm over directing it back, and I'm applying the rest of it on the other side. See how it sticks to that Pravana mesh? It sticks perfectly, so you guys can work quicker and smarter and not harder. So you see how I'm going to apply it every 3 inches now. Ready? So we got here, we're going to get all of it saturated in there. Make sure it's all good. Dip your brush again. Another 3 inches. Boom, boom, boom. Now we're going to go another 3 inches.
So for those darker colors, what would you advise to prevent staining the lace?
So a really strong hold hairspray would work. So Pravana's Super Shape Extreme is really good for that. I use it all the time whenever I need to pre-treat my lace. I also use it for even installing a wig. I've used Pravana's Super Shape Extreme. It's a very strong hold hairspray, and it will get you together, girl. Like, it will be like stuck on your head for as long as you want, baby.
And then how many shampoos does the color last?
Well, that varies on the quality of the hair, how many times it's being shampooed, and what color it is. So it depends. I like to say 6 weeks is a good, roundabout term that you can use, and that's going to be about average, is around 6 weeks. But if your client shampoos quite a bit, then you're going to go ahead and look at more like 4 weeks. If your client doesn't shampoo a bit, and she listens to what you tell her, because that's another important thing, is educating your clients. So if you educate your clients properly, I like to give my clients a little take-home sheet, especially when I first started out. I would give them a little take-home slip, and it would have all of their at-home care instructions along with their Pravana products in a bag, and I would hand it to them, and they would be on their way, and they would know exactly what to do when they got home. That's a great idea, so I encourage you guys to do that whenever you start, or at least first starting out, but because your clients will get good at it. Like, trust me, I've taught my clients how to wand their hair, and I teach them all kinds of different things. You always want to add value to their service. You don't want to just do their hair. You want to add value to their life. So by doing things like teaching them how to do anything, simple styles, or teaching them how to maintain their color at home and keep it longer. That's going to give value to their life, and they're going to love you and want to come back to you even more.
Then for blues, how do you keep the blue from becoming like more greenish when you're rinsing it out?
Okay, so the way that I do that is I make sure that I hold the hair at a 90-degree angle, and I rinse it with the faucet going straight down into the hair. So basically I hold it out like this, and I rinse the water going straight down. That way it doesn't get on any of the other hair, and then you have a nice clean, even streak of blue.
And what are some products you include in a take-home kit?
Okay, so it depends. If your client's getting vivids, you want to make sure that you're giving them the proper shampoo and conditioner. So, color care is a good one. You can have, it depends on the, what kind of hair your client has. If they have damaged hair, then, you want to give them intense therapy. But they're all great for, any shampoo is great for Pravana Vivids, but I recommend the Color Safe shampoo, the Color Care shampoo. Another great one is, one of my favorites is this here. This is the Intense Therapy leave-in treatment, and this is phenomenal product. It's for everybody. Any client you do, even if it's just a haircut, should take that product home, because that product right there is a jack of all trades, honey. She does 12 different things. You can spray it on your skin. You can spray it on your hair after you get out of the shower, even if you don't shampoo and condition. It's fortifying. It's got a great new feature in it. Have you guys heard of our... I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Have you guys heard of our Reunite Mending technology? So the Reunite Mending technology is a big thing that we've been using lately in Pravana, and basically, so we have it in our Pravana Pure Light Ultra Lightener. We have it in our, and we also have it in this product here with the Pure Light. I'm sorry, the Pravana Intense Therapy Leave-In. I'm still getting confused. I'm trying to think of what I'm doing here too. So we have it in that. We have it in the. Where's the other products that I love? So the Reunite Mending technology is in the Polish and Reunite. I'm going to start over for you guys.
Here you go.
The Polish and Reunite, which is this product here. This has the Reunite Mending technology, which is plant-based polymers that are going to reunite those ends that get damaged or that they split. So it's sort of acts as a split end mender, but it acts as a split end mender, but it does much more than that. It fortifies the hair, and it uses plant-based polymers to actually seal those ends for multiple uses. So you're getting that longevity of that product for a long time. So now that Intense Therapy Spray has that in there. So they reformulated it with that, and that's one of my favorite things. Let's see here. I need a towel. Grab my towel here. And of course, you know what's I'm sorry, I forgot about this. One of my favorite things to send Vivid clients home with is our color enhancers, guys. The Pravana color enhancers are a no-brainer for any of your Vivid clients because they're colored conditioners that are going to help them maintain that color at home. Have any of you used our color enhancers? They are so amazing. I love them. I have a couple of videos of me actually coloring my hair with them on my Instagram. I just use them to color my hair a couple times. They're just that great. They're very pigmented. They're very good. We have a pink, a violet, a silver, and an aqua blue. So I need a little bit more of this. Just going to mix a little bit more in there.
So if you want to go over what you're doing again, a couple people are joining us more now.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. What I'm doing now, guys, let me just find my aquamarine here. I have mixed up a rainbow palette, and we are going to do one of the new trendy techniques, which is the panel technique, which is, you have those clients with the front bangs and they have that panel there. That's what I'm doing, and I'm showing you guys how to do that with a rainbow and with a blonde overlay, which I think is really cool. And then what I'm doing is I've done the back opposite panel I'm going to do with the same rainbow colors, but I'm going to do it in a horizontal fashion. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys how that's going to look, and I'm excited to show you guys. So I'm just mixing a little bit more color here. We're doing blue mixed with yellow and aquamarine to make our green. And we are almost done with the front panel. We're going to be doing just vertical panels on the front, and then on the back we're doing horizontal. So when I do the vertical panels, I'm literally just taking stripes of color and I'm applying the color from root to end.
So we got a purple shampoo question.
Oh, I love purple shampoo.
When you're using purple shampoo, do you leave it in for a few minutes or do you wash it off immediately?
I don't like to wash it off immediately, but if your client's hair is very porous Or if you're working with a wig, there can be times where you just use it as a regular shampoo and you wash it off immediately. I need a little bit more clear, love. So what I'm saying is, by that is, you are going to, if you're using a wig, for instance, whenever I shampoo my wigs with Pravana Purple shampoo, the way that I like to do it is I pour it in a bucket. So I'll put a whole bucket of water, and then I will do a bucket of water, and then I will pour in a little bit of the Pravana Purple shampoo as I go, just a little teeny bit, and I'll mix it up with a spatula or a whisk, and I will just dunk the wig in there and just watch it as I go. So I'll dunk it for a short period of time, and then I'll pull it out, and I'll make sure it's evenly distributed, because what will happen is, if you try to apply it with your hands, then as a normal shampoo, then the color will get splotchy and you will have purple in areas that you just touched with your hands and not in other areas. So when you're working with a regular client though, you can leave it in for up to 20 minutes and it will give you a toning effect. The longer you leave it on, the more toning effect you're going to get. Brushes up?
The drawer right next to you.
Thank you.
So then once we're going to rinse the vivids, how do you do it? Do you use cold water only? What's the plan?
So the plan to do this is you're using cold water, and when you're using the cold water, to avoid them from bleeding, I like to hold the hair out vertically, or hold the hair out horizontally and rinse the water down vertically. So if you can see here, I'll hold the hair out like this and I'll rinse the water down directly perpendicular to the hair and make sure it goes straight down into the sink and not over the other remaining hair. Does that make sense?
So then somebody had asked, like you were talking about dunking wigs into the water with the purple shampoo to tone them out.
Yep.
Somebody goes, could you do that with blonde extensions too? And how much shampoo to water?
That's how I do my extensions. So yes, I do that the same way with extensions. So the way that you do that is you put a whole bucket of water and then you squeeze just about maybe a whole squeeze full, like not a long squeeze. You want the water to be slightly purple looking, but you don't want to put more than one squeeze in because the extensions and the wigs are very porous hair, so they will soak it up immediately. So just be careful, and you remember, you can always add more. You can't ever really take away unless you bleach or something like that. So that's a big thing that I like to remember, is I can always add more, but I can't take away. So I would say just judge it by the first couple times you've done it. Use a little bit, and then add more if you need it.
And what temperature of water do you use?
I use a lukewarm to a slightly warm water, but nothing too hot. I like these questions, guys. You guys are doing awesome today. Thank you so much for being engaged and involved. And I'm really grateful that you guys are here. And I'm glad that I'm able to help you guys learn. I love Pravana very much. Pravana is an amazing, amazing product line. They are thebomb.com. Trust me. You guys are going to be so happy when you use these Pravana Vivids. And they are, in my opinion, the best for vivid hair color. They also are amazing with their Chroma Silk hair color line is phenomenal because they keep coming out with these new colors and they're so amazing. Wait till January. We're going to come out with a new color again, and you guys are going to be just enthralled by it. I can tell you that by experience because I actually used some of it on this wig today. And it is thebomb.com. I'm obsessed, for sure.
So then another question. So somebody has, if you do weaves too, how can one revive one that's always tangled up after wearing it for an hour or so?
Okay, so there are several treatments that you can do. I can even tell you this. I put a treatment in on a wig and put that sucker in the microwave once. Actually, no, I've done it more than once. I do it all the time. But I put it in for like 10 seconds and it really helps it. But sometimes there's just wigs that have bad hair, and you really can't revive that. Unfortunately, the hair industry isn't regulated, so it sometimes can be difficult for you to find a good hair. But if you want to do your best to revive it, what I would recommend to do is do a Silk Degrees shine treatment from Pravana. Do we have it here? It's a 5-minute treatment. It's really, really great. You can do it right before you color the wig or the extensions. You can do it after. It's a phenomenal product. Another thing that I like to use on my wigs is the Intense Therapy Treat. And I'll leave this in for about 20 minutes under a hooded dryer with the wig inside of a shower cap and the hooded dryer. So that's my faves.
All right. Hopefully I'm not missing any questions here because a bunch just popped in.
Yay! I love questions.
So how would you feel about, or like, what's your opinion? Like, what's the difference between like Pravana's color lines and like some of the other vivid lines that are out there?
Oh, no, you didn't put me on the spot like that. Ooh,
I'm just reading the questions here.
All right, girl. Well, I can tell you this, that Pravana is the OG, triple OG. Hello. I mean, they're the ones who made the pathway for everybody else, pretty much. Because I know when I was coming around, Pravana was like the it. And it still is. Because we're innovative, we're fearless, we are literally unapologetic for being ourselves. And I love that about the brand. We're such a family. Our products are top of the line, and they have very high standards for whenever they release products, and they truly are made by stylists for stylists, which is a huge thing because it's not somebody that's just trying to make their money. They're not just trying to take your money. They even lowered the price of their hair color during the pandemic. Like, what other brand did that? No. This is Pravana, and look at the color. I mean, look at this depth and this saturation and like the vibrance of this color. It's just got more pigment than everything else, in my opinion, and I think it definitely has more pigment than any other colors. And I've used all of them. I definitely like some more than others, but Pravana has been my main since day one. So I don't know. I just challenge you to find someone better.
So then, since you're using the Vivids, you want to go over the fact that they're semis, developers, things like that, the different color lines they have.
Perfect. Yes. So what we have is we're using Pravana Vivids today. I've also used Pravana Chroma Silk, so when I get there, I'll talk to you about that. So let me just get my rainbow train of thought here. We got our violet, we got our green. Okay, perfect. So let's do our violet. All right. So now that I've got my train of thought, what we're doing is the Pravana Vivids are semi-permanent cream hair color, okay? So what that means is they do not require developer. Did you guys know that? Pravana Vivids do not require developer. And why is that? Well, because they are non-oxidative hair colors. So basically, what you see is what you're going to get. When I put this purple on this hair, I'm going to get a purple color. With oxidative hair colors, you're not going to get a purple color that's going to be a vibrant purple like this. You're going to have a color that's going to oxidize, and it's going to look completely different than what you're going to get as your end result. Now, another characteristic of semi-permanent hair colors are that they are basically, you just put them onto the hair, you put them onto pre-lightened dry hair. They don't have developers, and you cannot mix them with any other of the categories of colors. So you can't mix Pravana Vivid with Chroma Silk or Color Lush. Any of the demi-permanent or permanent colors, you cannot mix with Pravana Vivids. because they require developer, and this one does not. Semi-permanent also does not go in and change the internal structure of the hair, whereas permanent color does, and demi-permanent slightly does. So there's a big difference there. These are gonna still, they still last, up to 6 weeks for me. And even though they're not going in and changing that internal structure of the hair, they still last very long. You don't, but you're also going to get a more vibrant result, and it's more of a for your fashion tones. The other formula that I used was Chromasilk cream hair color, and that is Pravana's permanent line. That is going to require a developer, so it's going to require a 10, 20, 30 volume, and the difference between that is that's going to have ammonia in it. It's going to lift the hair naturally. So whenever you use permanent color on virgin hair, you're going to be able to lift it with that. If you use semi-permanent hair color on virgin hair, you're not going to get any lift. You can't lift it at all. You can only deposit with these. So before I clip this up, let's show you guys what I've created here. This is my vertical side. So I got my verticals done. I've got my panels going up and down, and they're just basically vertical panels that have gone straight up and down on this panel. And you can notice here I was pretty clean off of the lace, and I didn't want to get anything on there, but if there's a speckle or anything, then I'm fine. Now I'm going to go to the other side, because remember I toned this side and I toned this side, so the untoned sides I'm going to do the rainbow on. So I'm going to clip this out of my way, and now I'm going to go with the horizontal rainbow. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do that, and to save time, and this is something I would do even in the salon, because if I did this whole panel with a rainbow, it would take me probably an hour, because it's a lot of extensive work. You have to apply a lot of colors, and it's very tedious. Can you do me a favor and check and see if how this looks on the camera for me?
Yeah, of course. Rotate it slightly more clockwise. Perfect.
That's good?
You're good.
All right.
All right, we got another.
Now I got a question for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bottom panel that's going to have one solid color, and then the top is going to have an overlay of a rainbow on it. What color would you like to see as the bottom color?
Well, while that's catching up, I will give you another question.
Okay.
So talking about like additives and bond builders, putting it into color or lightener, do you use them? What do they do? Things like that.
Okay. So I do use Brazilian bond builder in my color, but Pravana colors don't necessarily need that. It's just an extra additive bonus that I like to use. There are certain colors that you don't want to use. Ooh. I'm wearing big boots today. So there's certain colors that you don't want to use with the Brazilian Bond Builder or the Olaplex, and that is the Pravana Pure Light Ultra Lightener, because like I was talking about earlier, it has that reunite mending technology in it. So it already has a bond mending technology in it. So basically what you're going to be doing is if you use an Olaplex or a Brazilian Bond Builder with that bleach lightener, with the Pure Light Ultra Lightener, you're going to be having two things fighting for one spot, and it's not going to work, and it's going to negate it, and you're not going to get the results that we guarantee. Did you guys figure out a color you want to see under here?
We've got purple, magenta, blue, hot pink, yellow or green, purple. We got the whole rainbow.
Okay.
Somebody said yellow or green as they've seen it with purple and pink plenty of times.
Perfect. I like you. We're going to make some yellowy chartreusey green. I like yellow chartreuse green. I love chartreuse. That's my favorite color, by the way. Chartreuse. I call myself Chartreuse Tatiana because I am everything. And when I put my wigs on, girl, I just be having my thinking cap on. And my name becomes Chartreuse Tatiana. Hello.
And then somebody had asked how much something like this would go for in a salon if you were doing it on a client.
So that it's gonna depend on your region. Main thing you want to know is what your prices are in your region. So basically it depends on like your skill level, how long it's going to take you. There's multiple different factors there. One thing that I like to look at is my competitors. I like to look at if I want to charge hourly or if I want to charge by service. So there's different things there that are going to be taken into consideration. I personally, when I was in Florida, I charged for this about $350 to $400, whereas in LA I would probably charge a little bit more than that, like $600. That's just because there's a big price difference out here. When I first moved out here, did not know that and was charging people way less than everybody else was. So I had a friend of mine whisper in my ear, he's like, hey, you're not charging enough. So I quickly fixed that. But I would just definitely look at your competitors in the area and, if you want to charge hourly, that's a great thing if you work quickly and you know your speed. But if you also want to charge by the service, then make sure that you have it priced accordingly to your area so that way you're not, overcharging and undercharging. And BT Dubs, I've decided I want to do neon orange for the underneath color. Is that okay? Because I have not seen neon orange used much at all. And I'm going to use it, and I love it.
Well, while that's being loaded, do Pravana do any certifications or anything like that for their color line?
Absolutely. So if you guys go to Pravana.com, we have the Pravana University, and we have some other new videos coming out too, which I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you guys, but it's going to be really exciting. I may have or may not have done one with wigs. I don't know. I think I was there, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so you guys, there's a lot of fun things that are coming out with Pravana. We're really amping it up with our education, and we are going to be rolling out with that very, very soon, and you guys are going to love it. But currently there is Pravana University with all of the brand educators already have done videos on there. So there is certifications on there that you can take, and there's a full online color certification that you can take on Pravana.com.
People are okay with orange.
Yay! I'm so glad you guys are down with that because I am like living for this color. Look at how pretty she is. So this is neon orange, about 1 part sunstone and 3 parts neon orange. So let's get it. So just to save time purposes, for purposes of saving time, I'm going to go ahead and do this whole bottom panel with this neon orange, and then I'll just do a rainbow overlay.